Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of TechRise Season 4. Today, we are focused on EdTech, and our excellent sponsor is Verizon, who's been a partner with us for all 4 years that we've had TechRise. For those of you unfamiliar with TechRise, we are a weekly pitch competition designed to support overlooked founders across the greater Chicagoland and Illinois with access to capital, networks, and knowledge. And we do that through these weekly pitch competitions where founders compete for a chance to win somewhere between $25,000 and $50,000 to go launch and build their dreams. Each founder will have 4 minutes for their pitch, and then they will have another 4 minutes of Q&A with the judges. And then the judges go on and decide who will take home the $25,000 non-dilutive cash prize. And then while they're deliberating, we also will have a guest speaker. And today that speaker is Jason Coleman of Project SYNCERE. So we'll talk about STEM education here in Chicago. And as a little background on TechRise, so far we've welcomed over 300 startups to the TechRise stage, and collectively they've gone on to raise over $110 million in follow-on funding. So this really can be a launch pad for these businesses, and we're so excited to have you with us today. All right, so with that, I'm going to welcome some of our judges onto the stage. So first, I'd like to introduce Quiva McReynolds, Senior Associate at Reach Capital. Quiva started her career in the world of investment banking in the technology group of Bank of America and later joined Adams Street Partners as a growth investor focused on infrastructure and software. With infrastructure software, with a passion for education and a desire to partner with founders early in their journey. Quiva joined the Reach Capital investment team here in 2023. She is a Bay native and attended the University of Notre Dame, where she graduated with a degree in applied and computational math and statistics. Quiva, thanks so much for being here. And then next we have Amit Patel, Managing Director at Owl Ventures. Amit has been deeply involved in a variety of firm building and investing activities since the firm was founded. He has served on the board of directors and led investments in many of the world's leading educational technology companies, including Code Academy, which was acquired by Skillsoft, Securely, acquired by Golden Gate Capital, and Thinkful, acquired by Chegg. He has experience scaling several education companies and is actively involved in helping Owl's portfolio companies reach a global audience and create high-quality solutions and become world-transforming. And lastly, we welcome our third judge, Raymond Katula, Investment Associate at GSV Ventures. Raymond is an associate at GSV based here in Chicago, and prior to joining GSV, spent 3 years as a consultant at EY Parthenon, where he worked primarily on corporate strategy, engagements, and commercial due diligence with private equity clients. Raymond's experience spans multiple sectors with an emphasis on education, technology, and Raymond graduated with honors from Michigan State University with a degree in finance and computational STEM. And since his time in college, he's remained involved in programs providing mentorship to first-generation college students and graduates of Detroit Public School System. So thank you all three for being here. We're excited to have you judging. And with that, we're going to invite Clement Townsend with Video Pro Learning as our first competitor today. All right, I'll let you know when I can see your screen. And then it looks like you're still muted, so we're ready for you when you are.
All right, let me know if you can see my screen.
We can, and we can hear and see you.
So I'm all set.
Good to go.
Awesome. Hello, Video Pro Learning is a student video creation platform that reinforces classroom curriculum. Did you know, according to the results of a federal test known as the nation's report card, math scores among America's 13-year-olds fell to their lowest level in decades? So how are schools addressing this? Imagine you were at a stoplight and someone pulled up next to you driving with their feet. Wouldn't you wonder, why are they driving like this is the Stone Age? So I ask you, is education stuck in the Stone Age? The reason I bring that up is that youth ages 8 to 18 spend between 5 to 8 hours daily watching digital media. But many times in the classroom, they're still doing paper and pencil math assignments. It's almost like they're learning in bedrock compared to the digital age in which they live. We solve 2 problems: making math engaging and reinforcing the concepts so students can excel, while also building technology skills so students can thrive in a digital world. That can be done through student video assignments. Now, let me clarify. I'm not talking about a video response where a student just presses record and films themselves talking. We're going far beyond that. Enter Video Pro Learning. Our platform helps math teachers turn everyday mundane classwork into dynamic multimedia assignments. Here's how it works. First, the teacher logs onto our platform and they search for the lesson that they want to reinforce. Let's take decimals, for instance. Then the teacher shares the model video with the students. This is an example video from our platform where the problem is visualized. Then the student logs on, they access the template, and they're able to solve the problem by typing their answer into the video. But here's where it gets exciting. The student can personalize it. Take a look. They can change the colors, change the text, change the graphics. They can add music. The student can add their own wow factor. Then they submit it to the teacher. This makes learning memorable. There's a huge market opportunity here. The global K-12 education market is $105 billion. As we go to market, we will focus on schools in the Midwest. That gives us a sum of $100 million. Our revenue model is a yearly subscription model. We will sell to K-12 schools and districts. Our 5-year goal is to hit $6 million ARR. Other products on the market can be used for video assignments, but they focus on the tool and its features. Video Pro Learning stands out because we focus on empowering teachers with interactive reinforcement activities that match their specific lessons. Our MVP was built with the input of more than 90 student and teacher surveys, and we've done beta testing in several classrooms. We expect to gain adoption by more than 20 classrooms in the fall of 2024. I'm the founder, Clement Townsend. I currently teach digital media in the classroom. I've done that for the past 6 years, and I've seen firsthand students become engaged and motivated to learn through this process. I've taught more than 750 students. Before that, I was a sports broadcaster on TV for 17 years, so I am an expert when it comes to media. Our advisors, Ben and Andrea, have vast experience building tech startups. With the prize money from TechRise, we would spend it on software development, content development, and sales. We expect that to help us get our product in more schools, and then we expect many more teacher responses like this. I think this can be more effective in giving students an opportunity to use their creativity and talents in a new way when it comes to math. The last line says, I think most students had fun. I know I certainly did. Learning should be fun. It shouldn't be stuck in the Stone Age. Video Pro Learning will bring education up to speed. Thank you.
Great job, Clement. All right, judges, can you join us? And Quiva, would you ask the first question?
Hi there. Hi. First question, let me think. Can you talk us through maybe some of your initial learnings from the customers that you piloted and those surveys that you did?
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly, we've had great responses from the teachers, as we just stated on the testimonial, and the students. About 90% of students in our surveys and the initial beta test say that they will recommend this to other students. 72% of students says it was beneficial to their learning experience. Also, 72% of students say they really developed their technology skills. And another thing that we learned too is to make sure the videos are bite-sized. But we've gained a lot of valuable insight from these surveys and our beta testing.
Thanks for that presentation, and really thought you did a great job. I guess my question would be, as you think about the initial use case, which subject areas, which grades you would start off with, and then ultimately what subjects and grades could this be applicable to? Can you just say a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. Great question. So now we're focusing on math, middle school math, because speaking to buyers, math and reading are priority areas. So certainly we want to focus on a priority area, which is math. And then we would start, with 1st through 8th grade. But that's a great question. This can be applied across all core subject areas, and that includes English, social studies, and science. Initially, in some of our beta tests, we have had classrooms that do English lessons like figurative language. We have had them do science lessons that have to do with magnetic power and magnetic energy, So we're going to to start with math first. We plan to nail that first before we scale.
Raymond.
Yeah, thanks, Clement. It's been super interesting product. As you think about like who the ideal customer is who will benefit the most from this type of product, like what are you trying to learn about them and how do you personalize it to be as effective for them as possible?
Okay. When you say ideal customer, certainly, the teacher will be the one that introduces it to the classroom, but the student will be the one that's actually kind of using and benefiting it. Do you have a particular teacher or student that you were referencing in your question?
Well, I guess a specific type of student based on their interests, based on, you already mentioned like grade levels and areas of like what subjects you'd be teaching, but yeah, mainly like their interests and how you'll be able to personalize it to those specific students.
Absolutely. So we feel that the video part has a broad interest to a wide variety of students. Surveys have been done that shown a lot of students want to be YouTubers. A lot of students, want to do things on TikTok and they wish they could learn editing in school. As everyone knows, if you have a child right now, they're probably into YouTube because video is a part of youth culture. So we feel like this has a wide appeal to a lot of students.
All right, we have about 30 seconds left. Anything else you want to add, Clement?
Absolutely. I would like to say that we plan to go global with this. Certainly we're going to start with the United States. We have a specific scenario about how this could be used for warm-ups and do-nows for math teachers. But we want to take videos from Chicago and Mobile and Philadelphia, let them be shared with students in Australia, Finland, and China, and vice versa, to see the things that students are learning in one classroom, to break down the walls of that classroom and go global.
Thank you so much, and great job, Clement. And thank you, judges, for your questions. I certainly know my boys spend a lot of time on CapCut, more than they do on math homework, so I can see the appeal. All right, next we have Huayi, with Billan Academy. All right, judges, we can go off camera while she comes on.
Okay, I'm Huayi, founder and CEO of Bilin Academy. I'm excited to present Bilin Academy, a global marketplace for multilingual learning. Over the past 5 years, we have served over 4,000 families worldwide. But let me rewind the time back to when I was a teenager learning English in China. There were no English environment for me to practice and use the language. So language learning is just about repetition and memorization, and it wasn't effective at all. What I didn't imagine is 30 years after, when I raised my 3 bilingual children in the United States, I still face the same challenge. There's very limited Chinese language exposure outside home, and there's also limited bilingual school choices, even in a big, diverse city like Chicago. And this problem is not unique to us. 66% of the children worldwide are learning and speaking a second language, but only a few of them can have access to multilingual global education. That's where Bilin Academy came into play. We connected professional teachers with children internationally. Families can find a wide range of classes taught in different taught in different language and on different subject. So they can pick the classes that best fits to the children's interest and target language. Sign up and join the classes and connect with an international teacher to learn. We work with individual teachers as well as education businesses to provide classes with us at an average price at $25 per session. Our annual average revenue per user is $626. We have established operation in both in the United States and in China, and we're targeting a $5 billion multilingual learning market. At the same time, we organically attract students from everywhere else in the world. Our marketing strategy focuses on community building and outreach. Our target customers who are immigrant families, multicultural families that are closely needed communities with shared education needs that is unaddressed by mainstream schools. We have successfully targeted them using organic approach. Now we are taking a step further to explore more scalable and paid avenues like parent influencers, parent ambassadors. At the same time, we also actively explore the partnership with schools and businesses with similar target customers to expand our reach. Bilin Academy is unique in a way that we focus on multilingual learning. We provide language immersion learning on a variety of subjects, so students are getting multifaceted learning experience in language, subject, and culture at the same time. We are very proud of our capital efficiency. With only $160,000 raised, we have reached almost $500,000 revenue in 2023. In 2024, with expanded marketing effort and team, we're aiming to reach $900,000. Our core team of three, including me, Jai, and Jay as three co-founders, and with Nick and Maggie joining us as Chief Growth Officer and Product Manager, we have stronger than ever team to take the company to the next level. If we win, we're going to use the money to identify and implement AI tools to enhance our operational efficiency and scalability so that we can focus more on growth. We will appreciate any help, including tell other families and schools looking for multilingual learning resources about us and refer licensed teacher to teach with us. And thank you very much.
Great job, and thanks for getting done early. All right, we can turn your presentation off and we'll welcome the judges on. Amit, you want to go first?
Yeah, happy to. Congrats on, kind of everything that you've been able to accomplish while being quite capital efficient. I guess, yeah, first question from my side would just be, can you talk a little bit about like the packages that folks are buying and then kind of what your retention looks like with users?
Yeah, typically some classes you can do like one-off classes like our classes, but most of the classes like chess classes, math classes, one-off classes that make sense. So typically we sell 10 classes per package at an average price of $20 per class. So you will see average per package is about $250.
Raymond.
Thank you. So as I know you already mentioned a few of the areas outside of traditional school subjects that parents are interested in, but as you're onboarding teachers, how do you gauge those interests and like what cultural topics and what just non-school topics people want to have their students educated on or their children educated on?
Yeah, so the teachers can propose the subjects they're specialized with us. We will evaluate the market. So normally we will have the teacher to run like trial classes or open enrollment classes to gauge some interest. That's where we start. Yeah. So at the same time, we also collect the information from the parents of what they want. So we are able to look for the right resources to come to our website. Yeah.
Lisa.
Hi there. Congrats on all the traction you've had thus far already. My question is just around kind of the broader market. This is an area with a lot of emerging innovation as well as strong incumbents. And so I'd love to hear like long term, how do you think about the durability of attracting and retaining customers in competition?
Yeah, therefore, like online tutoring market is a very competitive market. But what we do is taking the resources from one country and giving these resources to students from different country. So we're doing like connecting work. So that's very unique on this market. And because we're international presence in both United States and China, it allows us to gather resources from different places at the same time, targeting a wider market.
We have time for another question. I know that I think I'm gonna ask something about retention.
Retention?
Yeah.
So as marketplace, the retention calculation is a bit difficult. But year over year, so we're taking the customers who purchased classes last year and over to this year, we have 70% of retention. But it doesn't exclude parents who take a 1-year gap, then come back to us.
Oh,
we actually have a little more time if there's more.
Yeah. I guess maybe the second question is like, can you talk about like top 3 most popular types of classes that you have on the platform?
I would say like public speaking debate classes are popular, math classes is popular, chess classes is popular.
Any final thoughts from you? Wait.
Final thoughts? Yeah, Yeah. I think it's really just my personal experience. When people looking at language learning, they mostly thinking about explicit learning, but really think about how children learn language. They are immerse themselves in the environment and naturally absorb the language, and that's the best way of learning a language. So that's why we want to fill in the blank of the market. So 99% of the language learning product are explicit learning, but we provide the immersive environments where kids can absorb and learn.
Thank you so much. Great job today. All right, judges, thanks for your questions. And next, we're going to invite Ayesha Kazi on with ASL Aspire. I'm sorry, ASL Aspire. All right, and then why you mind going video off?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Thank you. No worries.
All right, can you see my screen?
We can. Give us
Just
1
one
second for,
moment.
Sure.
or my team can actually take it down too. Okay, perfect. All right, we're ready when you are. We can see your screen.
Hi, we are ASL Aspire, and what do? We increase access to STEM for people who are deaf and hard of hearing. Imagine yourself back in high school chemistry, but this time there's a catch. You don't have any of the key vocabulary you need to succeed. You start to feel anxious because you don't have that same opportunity to achieve as your peers. Now, let's take ourselves out of the situation and realize that's the daily reality for over 400 million deaf learners around the world. To put that in perspective, that is if all the citizens in America suddenly had no access to STEM. Last year, we visited more than 200 deaf students to listen to their dreams. I want to introduce you to Aaliyah. She told us she wants to be a NASA scientist someday when she grows up. But because she doesn't have the right tools, by the time Aaliyah and all deaf kids are in high school, they are 70 times less likely to pursue a STEM career and much more likely to be unemployed instead. We need change and fast. My team realized this, so we created a solution, ASL Aspire, a first-of-its-kind game-based platform that teaches STEM to deaf students in American Sign Language. Their scores are sent here to the teacher dashboard, where teachers can see exactly where their students are improving and underperforming. And because just knowing the signs isn't enough, we've created a way for students to practice the signs too. Our novel machine learning technology lets students validate basic signs in front of their webcam as part of the games. Our team has shattered the barriers between the deaf and hearing communities. My name is Ayesha, and I co-founded this company because I wanted to give deaf students the same opportunity that I had to be able to pursue any career that I wanted to. We are united with deaf scientists from around the world to ensure that we're not just building for the deaf community, but with them. And with this incredible team, over the past 2 years, we've raised over $250,000 to build and launch our product to over 200 students in a paid pilot program. In addition to the partners you see here, we've recently started a partnership with NASA to create astronomy modules for their space camps. With these partners, we will accelerate our growth, expand our curriculum, and serve all K-12 students, including hearing students. So, why would teachers choose ASL Aspire? As they've put it, other classroom tools simply miss the mark for deaf kids because they don't include sign language, which is their native language, and existing ASL apps only teach beginners. Our business model is a freemium subscription plan. The price you see here is similar to other online learning platforms, but much cheaper than private ASL tutoring. Around the world, over 400 million deaf people learn and sign. We're starting with the 720,000 deaf students in America, just like Aaliyah, who need these words immediately. Support for this market is strong as the US provides $122 billion to special education programs. That's nearly 6 times the budget of NASA. But we don't plan to stop with just deaf students. All 50 states now accept ASL as a choice to fulfill the foreign language requirement, which has pushed the number of hearing classrooms to over 1 million students. With funding from TechRise, we will be able to reach over 1 million visitors annually to the Houston Space Center, and we will also be able to reach 5 new schools in the upcoming year, which would double last year's impact and increase our revenue by $270,000. For students like Aaliyah, ASL Aspire can change everything about the way they learn. Help us bring a brighter future to her and the millions of deaf kids around the globe. Thank you.
Love it. Everyone's doing such a great job on timing today. Thank you. Raymond, will you kick us off?
Sure. I think this is an incredible idea, and props to you for building and deploying it. I'm wondering what are the kind of metrics or feedback that you're looking for from either students or the people who are working with these students to indicate success of the programs?
Yeah, so when we ran our pilot program, we were really looking at how educational is this? So first, like how much are their vocabulary scores increasing? We're running a study now to see how their grades are increasing. And we also want to understand how compatible it is with teachers' classrooms. So we went around and we got curriculums from hundreds of different deaf educators around the US. And we ran a survey to see how well ours matched with it and made sure we adapted to it.
Viva.
Hi, it's great to meet you guys. Congrats on all the progress you've made so far. Do you guys mind talking just a little bit more about your go-to-market strategy?
Yes, let me share really quickly. So we are starting with those deaf residential schools because they serve the most amount of deaf kids per state. There's about one per state, so we are trying to get through the United States first. And then with that, we're expanding to the public school market because once you get that acceptance from the deaf community that this is a product that they use and love and they need, then the public schools will trickle in. And then we'll also expand into that secondary market, which is the hearing market, so teaching ASL as a foreign language. And then we're expanding to the global. We've already started that. We are in schools in Canada and Mexico, and we have partners in India and the UK as well.
Amit.
So great job with the presentation. Really enjoyed it. I think the question that I have is, as you talk about that, maybe that second part of your go-to-market strategy, how does your curriculum tie into, let's say, what the teacher might already be using in the classroom? And can you say a bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we base our curriculum off of next generation science standards, which is something that all schools around the US typically adopt and use when they're reporting to their districts or in IEP reports, especially for students with disabilities. And so we look at if our things are aligning with that. And we also do focus groups with educators to make sure that, we have actual eyes on it and they can provide us with that feedback.
We have time for another question or so. Any others? All right. Team, do you want to add any final thoughts?
I just wanted to say thank you for this opportunity. We are now introduced to the TechRise community, and if anyone, would like to collaborate with us or learn more, please visit our website.
Great. Well, great job. And next, I'm going to invite Hunter Guy with Study Aloud. We can see you, and now we can see your screen.
When
Good to go.
Okay. Hello, my name is Hunter Guy, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Study Aloud. Life can be full of challenges. I was affected by tech layoffs just 2 days ago. And even through all of these challenges, I am the happiest that I have ever been in my life. And I'll let you in on the secret. My joy stems from finally understanding the Bible. Did you know that if you read the Bible at least 4 times a week, you can reduce some bad habits by 57%? Bad habits that could potentially lead to suicidal thoughts and depression. Well, many individuals struggle with Bible study due to unreliable sources and ineffective study methods, which can be very overwhelming and confusing. Even I have encountered misguided teachings for something as simple as forgiveness. And though it took me years as I dove into the Bible to discover this truth, once I did, my joy grew. At Study Aloud, we recognize these hurdles. Our solution pathway is designed to address these challenges by providing a user-friendly platform that simplifies and personalizes the Bible study experience. And our development approach is 100% evidence-based. We've engaged with over 100 individuals through surveys, interviews, and usability studies to understand their needs and refine our app. As a result, we've become first movers in the adaptive learning technology space for Bible study. Unlike the current market, Pathway provides adaptable learning paths versus traditional set of learning curriculums. We are the only Bible study app that reads you when you read it. We meet you right where you are, learning what you need and adapting to help you understand at your own pace with the right content just for you. In our total addressable market of $6.2 billion, we are targeting Christians who read the Bible one time a week and want to incorporate digital solutions into their Bible study methods. There are three big players in our industry. While everyone thrives in their own swim lane, we know that Pathway will meet every need in the Bible study experience. Starting with our freemium model, we will attract users who can deepen their experience with our premium features. As we expand into the B2B sector, we will equip local churches with tools that enhance community engagement, opening another revenue channel. Additionally, our partnerships with publishers and content companies leverage Pathway's user data to refine their content, creating a symbiotic relationship for all stakeholders. And we're not just launching an app, but we're building a movement. This year, we're hosting a 400-person Christian Tech conference this summer in Chicago to unveil the beta version of Pathway. We are uniting tech professionals and ministry leaders who are eager to integrate digital solutions into their faith journey. And our weekly podcast on tech and faith positions us as thought leaders in the space. Through our marketing channels, we're expanding our reach and growing our community and keeping everyone updated on our progress. And as a multi-award-winning product designer, I am confident that we have created a Bible study experience like no other. With our combined 12 years of product experience, 10 years of ministry leadership, and 7 years in customer success, we have the grit that cannot be bought. The $25,000 in prize money will give us our first 3 premium features, which we will leverage to drive growth to 5,000 subscribers and $80,000 in revenue by the end of 2024. So I invite you to join us in on this movement, not just to create another app or a Bible study tool, but to change the world and unlock this joy for everyone, one pathway at a time. Thank you.
All right, great job. Quiva, can you kick us off?
Yeah. Hi there. Congrats on everything you've built so far. My question is around the paid conversion. Can you talk a little bit more on the features that are going to prompt your users to paid and what kind of conversion rates you're hoping for there?
Absolutely. So we are overall aiming to get to a $24 average amount of subscription price. That 5,000 subscribers amount is us creeping to that amount. So we're beginning with a paid subscription model of $5 per user. And with our leverage within our communities, with partnerships with churches, we have a reach of approximately 15,000 right now. And so we're expecting that conversion will turn into the 5,000, our initial 5,000 subscribers. That would get us to that $80,000 amount, which breaks down to $20,000 per month.
Great job on the presentation, and love the fact that I think you also shared that you are a Sunday school teacher and kind of know the space quite well.
Yes.
If you don't mind saying a bit more on the TAM as well, kind of what is that including? Like, what are kind of your customers currently spending on, and kind of how much of that do you feel is applicable to the product that you're introducing here?
Yes. With our TAM, we are targeting customers or Bible readers who are reading the Bible at least 1 time a week. And starting with that larger number, that is anyone who has access to the internet within America, within a different country, so mostly like a global audience. And as we scale down, we're targeting closer to the United States. So we're confident that people are now getting more engaged with digital solutions. Over the past 3 years, we've seen a rapid increase in biblical technology, as well as prayer technology such as Hollow and YouVersions and other players. And so we're hoping that we can enter into the space, but with the idea of bringing AI in a very unique way.
Raymond.
Yeah. Hey, Hunter. You mentioned building a community around the app and kind of this act of of reading the Bible and doing it regularly? And right now it's kind of an in-person community, but in what ways do you plan to engage that community and keep them connected and engage with one another and speaking to each other to keep them on the app as you see the user base start to grow?
A lot of our community has gratefully come with a lot of teaching moments. Outside of just our conference, we were invited to another conference in Chicago to teach on AI and technology and how to integrate it into faith. So that'll be happening in June, and we have many more speaking opportunities like that. Additionally, we're going to have the same conference every single year. So this is our inaugural year of our conference. On top of that, we plan to continue to bridge the gap with this community through our podcasts, social media, engaging our community through digital solutions that way, and then also building out a consulting service that allows churches and church adjacent organizations alike to be able to leverage technology and learn about all of the things that are happening. So we've already begun doing that in the last 6 months. We've had the opportunity to partner with a publishing company where we were able to engage them and teach them more about AI and technology in the Christian space to help them even update some of their outdated solutions.
We have about 15 seconds left if you have any final thoughts, Hunter.
I just invite you all to come see for yourself. If you're in Chicago, Friday, July 12th, Morgan Arts Complex. If you want to learn more, go to studyaloud.com. But if anyone wants to get involved in the space, even if you're not 100% sure about the Christian component, I just invite you to come share your knowledge, network with people in this space who want your expertise.
Thanks,
you.
Hunter. All right, great job. Thank you, judges. All right, and for our last but not least pitch, we have Gaite Adolphe with Scope.
Awesome. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
We can see and hear you. Yes, ready to go.
Okay, just give me 1 second. All right. This is Jamie, a high school senior about to become the first in her family to go to college. She's full of dreams and also full of questions. What should she major in? What career will that lead to? These questions leave her overwhelmed and unsure where to turn for help. But this isn't just Jamie's story. It's the story of 56% of US undergrads, first-generation students just like her, who often don't have the resources to navigate the college process. Jamie dreams of something more, but her limited understanding of her options leaves her feeling stuck and directionless. And here's an even bigger challenge. 80% of all college students either start undecided or change their majors at least once. And the number one reason, a lack of career awareness. The fact is, a lot of students haven't been exposed to enough industries or roles to understand their options. This makes it really difficult for them to make informed decisions, leading to costly indecisions and extended time in college, which I'm sure you can guess leads to more debt. You might ask, well, can't school counselors help with this sort of stuff? Unfortunately, they're stretched incredibly thin. Nationally, there's an average of 408 students per counselor. And in states like Illinois, it climbs to 664 students per counselor, making personalized guidance a luxury, leaving many students to navigate this process largely on their own. So where can they turn to? This is where Scope steps in. Imagine a world where every student can envision their future clearly, shifting career planning from a stressful experience to a simple and empowering journey. Let's get back to Jamie though. Through Scope, she's able to explore various industries and uncover a ton of roles through an intuitive, user-friendly interface. While exploring marketing, she discovers the role of a product marketing manager. Scope doesn't just inform Jamie about this career, it brings this future to life. She can see what her day-to-day could look like, understand the skills needed, and easily identify the majors and minors for this path. Scope also helps her identify colleges with relevant programs, compare her options, and even calculate the ROI of different degrees and institutions. And when she needs a little bit more guidance, she can connect one-on-one with a mentor, all without ever leaving the platform. Empowered by this knowledge, Jamie enters college with a clear vision, understanding how her coursework aligns with her goals, no longer feeling directionless. But get this, throughout college, she continues to use Scope to access resources and earn certifications, further enhancing her skills. And by the time she enters the job market, she's a well-rounded candidate with a strong grasp of product marketing thanks to Scope. The career guidance market is vast, with 17 million high schoolers enrolled in 2021 and 3.7 million of them graduating each year. In 2022, 15 million undergrads were enrolled. many of them first-generation college students. This $18 billion market is growing at 1.8% annually, highlighting the demand for a platform like this. Scope offers plans to fit every need. Our free plan is ideal for high school students beginning their exploration, and our paid plans are ideal for college students preparing for the job market and professionals seeking career changes. Our partner program, which I imagine will become our main revenue source, allows partners to boost visibility and expand brand awareness to students through sponsored content, panels, and more. Hi, my name is Gaite. My background includes SaaS sales and product management. I've led sales efforts as a top performer for a company that grew from 0 to 10 million in just a few short years. My product management background, I helped improve usability and reduce churn, saving well over 6 figures in ARR. I understand both technical and customer needs for building effective solutions. With the $25K, I strategically allocated towards developing Scope MVP, focusing on essential features that meet user needs. Additional funds would be dedicated towards expanding our education database and creating marketing plans to boost visibility and subscription. So I ask you to imagine a world where every student has a clear path to a fulfilling career. Scope makes this a possibility. With Scope, the future is bright and full of possibilities. Join us in simplifying career exploration and shaping the leaders of tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. And then Amit, will you ask the first question?
Yeah, thanks for that presentation. Really great job. And my question is, can you say what are the primary ways that you think you'll be able to acquire users on the platform and kind of get students to be aware of the offering?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So there's a few different ways in which we can do it. So I guess I'll take a step back. So just 4 days ago, I actually conducted a really small word of mouth campaign. I presented Scope to a student and asked them to share it with friends who might benefit from it. And in just 4 days, we received 52 signups for our beta program. So this quick and enthusiastic response, I think, just shows like the real demand and excitement for what we're building. But also utilizing content marketing, SEO, partnerships with educational institutions, referral incentives, and a lot more.
Raymond.
Yeah, as a follow-up to Amit's question, how do you plan to, after you already have users on the platform and they kind of use it for the first time, how do you plan to retain them and keep them engaged when they don't really have a parent or a school counselor, making sure that they're staying on top of this journey every day?
Yeah, also a great question. So as far as retaining them, I think the biggest thing is making sure that the platform is always updating the content that we're providing to them, and also always double checking to make sure the content is accurate. Also retaining them in the form of getting feedback from them to better understand, like, are we actually meeting the needs in which you are in search of? We understand that not every student, for example, wants to go down the college path. So we're also creating role profiles that highlight, alternative paths, such as maybe going towards trade programs or gearing towards roles that don't require degrees, for example. So just making sure that we have content that really meets the needs of all students in their journeys.
Lisa.
Yeah, hi there. Congrats on everything you've done so far. It sounds like you're the right founder to be building in this space. Can you talk a little bit more about the competitive dynamics here? Again, it's a space where, there's a lot of exciting innovation happening. And I would just love to hear a little bit more about how you plan to beat out the competition.
Yeah, I guess I can touch on like our main competitors. So our main competitors include platforms like Naviance and Career Builder. Naviance, for example, is strong at providing college admissions support and has established relationships with a lot of schools. However, it often lacks comprehensive career guidance and modern user interfaces. And then Career Builder offers extensive job listings and career advice, but is more focused on job seekers rather than students exploring career paths. So with Scope, our strength really lies in its personalized, immersive approach to career exploration in providing a more holistic and engaging experience for students.
We have about 30 seconds left. Do you have any final thoughts, Gaite?
I guess I would say that just thank you for this opportunity. At Scope, I believe that every student deserves a chance to discover their true potential and really find a fulfilling career path. We're not just building a platform, we're really creating a movement to empower the next generation with the tools, guidance, and confidence they need to navigate their futures.
That is a perfect way to end. And now the judges have the unenviable job of choosing a winner for today. So we're going to send them off over to the deliberation room. And just for the listeners, just so you know, they'll be announcing a first place, but then they'll also have a second place. And second place is also in the running for the grand finale for $100,000. So both of those positions matter a lot. But while they are deliberating, I'm so excited to welcome Jason Coleman, co-founder and executive director of Project SYNCERE, who leads the educational nonprofit focused on equipping underrepresented students with the skills and opportunities to pursue STEM careers. Since its inception, Project SYNCERE has empowered over 35,000 Chicago youth with access to rigorous STEM education. And prior to this, Jason designed flight control systems for military aircraft at BAE Systems and contributed to the mechanical designs of iconic Motorola phones like the Razr and Pebble. Alongside his role at Project SYNCERE, he's pursuing an MBA at the University of Chicago Booth School of Business and actively volunteers with various local and national nonprofits. Jason, it's great to have you on. Congrats on everything you built. Admittedly, I never had a Razr, but all my friends did, so I was very jealous. No, but it's great to have you here. Can you tell us a little bit about just how you started Project SYNCERE and what drove you to start it with your co-founder?
Yeah, so we started, oh man, I don't know why am I.
We lost you for a second, but I think you're coming back.
I know, I think I need to switch cameras, but I'll just talk while I figure that out. So, we started Project SYNCERE 16 years ago. Really due to the experiences that I had, growing up, typically as the only Black male student in any of my college classes, or even when I was working in the professional field. I was the only African American on any of my design teams, and that just didn't sit well with me. And so we wanted to create an organization that helped engage, inspire, and expose young people to the engineering fields at an early age, because in 2008, when we launched the organization, STEM wasn't as popular, I would say, as it is today. And so we really wanted to fill that void and ensure that young people were not only getting exposed to the STEM fields, but had real opportunities to become engaged in those areas and really develop the skills that were going to be critical for their future success and landing a career in those fields as well.
Amazing. I'm going to go off script like I normally do, if that's okay. But where does most of your support come from?
Yes, so we really have, I would say, a diversified funding stream. So some of it is earned income through partnerships with like Chicago Public Schools or various school districts or community organizations that are looking to bring STEM content to the youth that they serve. We have a large support from different industry partners, so folks like Boeing and Clement and Molex, who really need and understand the need to prepare young people now for the future careers in engineering to support their workforce. But then we also get funding from, philanthropy foundations, but then also we have a couple of federal and city grants to support the work as well.
Amazing. And so what age ranges do you all work with the most?
I would say we're really K through career, but the bulk of our programs are really at the middle school level and then the high school level. We found out like early on that we started out by serving high school kids and quickly found out that we really need to touch students early on. Like some of those students just didn't have the strong foundations in math and science that were going to be critical for their long-term success. And so we backed our program down to middle school to really focus on students at that grade, because we also learned that, in the middle school level, students either become excited or turned off to math. And so we really wanted to target that age group to show students how fun and engaging math and science can be, and the wonderful careers that you can have by really excelling in those different areas.
So how do you show them what the fun is in engineering and stuff?
I'm probably biased because I am an engineer, but if you look around us, right, everything that you see, everything that we utilize has been designed and built by engineers. And so we're really trying to show students how they can be the creators and innovators of technology and not just the users of it. And so all of our programs utilize like hands-on project-based learning curriculum to teach students as they learn and as they go through these different design cycles. We teach students about the engineering design process and how everything is an iterative design. You learn through failure. So failure is actually okay, but as long as you walk away with a lesson learned from it. But we also work in teams. So students are not just learning about engineering and science and math, but they're learning how to be better communicators, better team collaborators, and better problem solvers. And so through this work, like I think we're not just creating the next generation of engineers, but we're creating the next, future workforce, because all employers want individuals with those skill sets as well.
Absolutely. I know that certainly we have an emphasis on identity in STEM and getting more differentiated identities. And I'm curious how you're thinking about the kind of intersection of race and gender on this. Like, does programming need to be specifically designed for young women or women identifying students to be
Yes,
more attractive?
I agree. And so we kind of live by the motto, you can't be what you don't see. And so for us, like, representation matters a lot. And so we really try to, hire instructors that represent the communities in which we serve. We try to get professionals to come in and engage with our students so our students can begin to see themselves in the professionals that interact with our students. But it's also important for young people to visit, like, and have experiential learning. So go to these different industries, and so they can begin to imagine what it's like to work in these different industries. But we also feel like we make our curriculum culturally relevant. And so, a lot of the problems that we present to our students are things that students can identify with. And yeah, I mean, yeah, so those are some of the things that we use, to make the students really try to increase their self-identity and believe that this is something that they can be successful in.
Yeah. What are some of the projects you guys have done in the last year or so?
Maybe a lot of the stuff that we're doing right now is dealing with, like, autonomous stuff. So we just had a big competition at the Wintrust Arena where we brought 350 middle school students, and they had to design autonomous vehicles to navigate around a track. We have a full prototyping lab in our Academy program, which is a Saturday engineering academy for students in 6th through 12th grade, but the students have full access to really things that a lot of the engineering companies do. So CNC machines, 3D printers, laser cutters. And so the students really, we assign them a problem, but then it's their job to come up with a solution to solve it. And so they have the free will to utilize the skills that we're teaching them to actually design their own solutions to those problems.
Well, it sounds amazing. And I have to say that we've invested so much in kids' sports and not enough in the kids' engineering pursuits.
I
So I'm
agree.
curious, how can parents like me and our family get our kids involved?
So I would say you can definitely go to our website at Project SYNCERE and sign up for some of our programs. Our programs are really all free for students. And so, whether it's through partnership with your local schools, you can advocate for us to come to the school in which your students are. You can sign the students up for our Saturday Academy program that operates throughout the academic year on Saturdays at Holy Angel School in the Bronzeville community. We have a ton of summer camps. But I would say that it's really important for adults and parents, the same way we invest in our kids in music or sports, where we get them to these programs as early as 3 years old or 5 years old. I think it's really important to have that same mentality when you're thinking about engineering or medicine and stuff. Like, kids need early access. They need to develop those skills. They can start coding now. They can start, and so much of this stuff is online too. So if you have a young child that can kind of self-teach themselves, like, a lot of stuff is on YouTube or Coursera or other websites. But if you have a self-starter, some stuff you can do yourself. But otherwise, I would say find a program like Project SYNCERE to kind of find programs to engage your youth. Or even My Shine, My Future is a great one that the city is hosting, where many of the organizations will host the different programs that they're hosting throughout the city.
That's awesome. And I mean, I'm a tech founder, but a non-technical founder, I will say, but still have built 2 tech companies. And
Yes.
My husband studied computers, IT actually in college.
Okay.
So we should be excellent at this, and we are not. And so I empathize with every parent who's listening. And I'm curious, like, is there anything out there that kind of does parents and kids together so that we can demonstrate our own willingness to, like, be continuous learners? Curious if that's a thing you've seen.
There are a few organizations, but we actually do some. So 2 years ago, we through a partnership with Tufts University and the Lego Foundation, launched this program called STEM in Motion. So we have this mobile van, and we've done workshops all throughout the city. So the first year we did about 60 workshops in pretty much every library throughout Chicago. But it was designed for young kids, like K through 3rd grade, really for them to engage with their parents, right? And so it's mobile workshops where we set up different stations around the library, but allow parents and their kids to really engage in a quick tinkering project where the kids are learning, the parents are learning, but then we also provided opportunities and projects for the parents to take home to continue engaging with their child. But then we also provided like sheets and worksheets to provide information on how the parents can follow up, and sign up for some of our programs or other opportunities that were available throughout the city for them as well. But it's really important for young people and parents to engage. There's another organization called Shy Prep that does a lot of great stuff with parents and kids. But I think we need a lot more organizations who are doing this work. It's not just us. We can't serve the entire city, but it's important for young people and parents to get engaged at a much earlier age.
I agree. And I think that, the more that parents can kind of go back into an educational space with their kids, they can demonstrate the importance of learning throughout your life, because that is what we are all doing. I'm switching gears a little bit. What do you think the role of AI will be in this instruction moving forward?
I love AI. I'm a fan of it. And I've actually done some cool projects, actually with some of our partners like at Tufts, where they were having like a hackathon and they created a interface utilizing ChatGPT, but allowing the students to type in different prompts to see how it would affect the code for the robots that they were building. So the project was for them they were making like an instrument, so like a drum machine or some type of guitar, utilizing Lego robotics, but then they were coding it through AI and really trying to understand like how the different prompts that you provide, have different results on the coding that is presented to the robot. But I like AI a lot. I think it's going to make coding maybe not as relevant as we think it is today. But you can learn a lot from coding, right? I mean, I don't know. I really like how AI is making things a lot easier and a lot more efficient for adults, for kids, and everybody else. But we just need to be able to use it responsibly as well.
Yeah, completely agree. No, I've long felt that one of the fastest ways to get young women excited about coding and programming is actually through front-end development, because it's you get to see the work so immediately, and I think in some ways AI is going to do that for us in a variety of STEM areas where some prompts can actually make things come to life in a way that we didn't have the tools to do before. So not that it's all about gender, but sometimes it's a little hard to get excited about robots fighting robots for young women.
Robots aren't for everybody, so you have to switch it up and not just focus on robots. But engineering is a very diverse field, I would say.
Of course, no, and there's everything from environmental engineering to computers
Very
to
true.
quantum.
Yep.
So, so many incredible. I'm curious. I didn't hear, not because you're not doing it, I just didn't ask about it. Besides Tufts, do you have any relationships with any of our local universities, or is there anything that we can do to help strengthen that?
Yeah, no, we work with UIC a lot. We work at city colleges. We work with folks at Northwestern as well. So academia is critical to the work that we do, because that is where we're trying to get our young people to. Because as an engineer, like, you have to go to college, right? So you need that degree. And so our partnerships are like with academia, with industry, with the school districts here. But it's critical for us to have those connections to post-secondary institutions to really help our young people understand like what to expect at the next level, prepare them for the next level. But then also, as we're creating these new curriculums, like have those partnerships with the different universities to help us figure out like how to best craft some of this curriculum to fit our kids' needs.
Absolutely. So then, are most of the instructors volunteers, or?
No, we believe in paying people. And
Great.
so most of our instructors, a lot of our instructors are college students, either some undergrad, but a lot of grad students who are studying engineering or some type of STEM degree. A lot of our instructors for our Academy program are actually engineers turned teachers who are working in different schools throughout Chicago, who come back and work with us on Saturdays to kind of provide their knowledge. But it's really important for us to hire people who have that technical knowledge, but then also have the pedagogy to effectively instruct the young people that we serve.
Makes a ton of sense. One of the things that we've worked on at P33 is trying to get project-based learning into the classroom that is kind of sourced from and led by corporate partners to strengthen their kind of connectivity between the students that are graduating and hopefully the future roles that are going to be available. Because I think we have, I don't remember the exact number, but I want to say it's like 100,000 open tech jobs in Chicago alone, which seems crazy. And so curious if there's an opportunity there also to bring in some of our big corporate partners.
Yes, I mean, we rely on volunteers a lot. Like the big competition that I spoke about earlier that we had a couple of weeks ago at the Wintrust, like we had over 130 volunteers from our corporate partners come in and work with us. But we have found, like, I feel like after the pandemic, it's been harder to get volunteers to come in for a lot of in-person events, especially things that are like ongoing. And so we don't really want to put the onus on volunteers to really teach all of our programs, but we do have volunteers come in and supplement some of the things that our instructors do or engage with our youth, either through like a mentorship role or, a career panel, or even like leading our students through some type of like field experience is what we typically use volunteers for.
That makes a ton of sense. And I'm sorry, I'm looking to see if the
I
judges are
know.
back yet. They are not yet. And so thank you for going a little bit over with me, but it looks like they're on their way. So if Steven's back, that means they're usually back. So
Sounds
Jason,
good.
thank you so much for spending some time with us, and congratulations on everything that you've built, including the Razor phone, but more importantly, Project SYNCERE. So really appreciate you being here, and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you for having me.
All right, judges, you're back. Who is going to be the announcer of the winner today?
That would be me.
Okay, great. So founders, can you come back on? Raymond, if you could say who got in second place first, before you say the winner. And a quick reminder, second place, you guys are in the running for the $100,000 finale prize. So it definitely is still a win, and you're all eligible to come back on TechRise in the future. But Raymond, okay with that, who got second place?
Yeah, so we thought everyone did a great job and really excited to be in touch with everyone, share feedback. But the runner-up for the competition today was Study Aloud. We think that the company is really in a unique space and bring together an amazing community around people who are intrigued and just learning as much as they can around how they can improve their lives through the Bible and through religion. So very exciting company, and happy to announce them as the runner-up.
Congratulations. And now the
Thank
winner.
you.
And then the winner is ASL Aspire. Again, very unique, and we love the founders and their technical backgrounds, and just the fact that they're building in the space that has been overlooked for a long time, but we think is really necessary to have great builders putting their efforts towards it.
Well,
Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity.
Congrats to all the founders. You really presented beautifully today, and we're proud to have you as part of our TechRise family. And this is not the last you'll see of us. We have lots of workshops and ways to support you moving forward, including Speed Round. Stephen and Verizon, thank you as always for your support. It means the world to these founders and of course to us. And then judges, we can't thank you enough for spending the time with our founders today and with us. And with that, I will say have a wonderful weekend, everyone, and we will see you back for TechRise Season 4 next week.